Hello and welcome to another episode of the Waypoint FPL update. I say another, it's been a while since the last one, but Chris is joining us as well. Again, how's it going, Chris?
Yeah, very well. Said Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we're here to have a little look at your fantasy lineups before it all kicks off into the new year. So, yeah, and we can see that we have, well, entirely new leaders from the last time we did this now.
A lot has changed, yeah, and Ben actually had a dig at me in training, rightfully, because we haven't actually done a pod since he leapt up to first place, and he's been in first place for a while now, let me tell you, Chris. But yeah, on this festive edition of the Waypoint FPL update, we will start with Ben's team in first place by 10 with 1148 overall, with 59-point week last week. Reasonably good week, one of the highest scores on the week. We'll take a look at the side. He had Fabianski, who before my eyes I saw got absolutely clocked at St. Mary's. I don't know if you saw that, Chris. He got 2 points, but he had captain Mo Salah 18, Cole Palmer got 10, Gabriel was 6, Isaac got 8 as well. So some solid scores on the board there for Ben's team, Chris.
Yes, absolutely, and to be fair, a very balanced team once again. You'd back that team in real life as well. Also, fair play. Drops Haaland. Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gone with where the wind blows. Ismail Sarr in midfield. Good for you as well. So yeah, like that. Don't like the two Saints on the bench though. That's not so clever. But
probably budget considerations, I would guess.
I mean, clearly you wouldn't put them in otherwise.
So he's got Ipswich as well.
I mean, that's exactly where they belong. But fair play, and not a splitter as well. Captain in Salah, Liverpool fan, fair enough. But Ben, do put yourself in put a kit in, mate, because you are leading.
Indeed, yeah, lead by example, Ben. Come on. So then, if we look beyond that, so yeah, like you say, Chris, there is a few new names in the top 5. I think, or a couple at least. Palmer's up to second now. He actually had the high score on the week with 77. So we'll take a look at his team here. So he had Ryan goal with 6. Cole got 4. Kirkes got 6. Aina got 6. Palmer with 10. His namesake. Mo Salah captained again with 18. Where we got 3. Isaac got 8, and then Mateus Cunha got 12. So yeah, lots of points to go around for Palmer's side here, Chris.
That's a very hipster team, that.
There's a lot going on, isn't there? There's a lot going on,
but not from huge teams as well. So fair play again.
Yeah.
Going with the wind blows. Mateus Cunha, by the way, is having an absolutely quality season for Wolves, who aren't having a quality season, but probably will going forward. Yeah. But in there, can I just talk about Kirkes? Because Kirkes is going to be an absolutely fantastic player for somebody who's not Bournemouth. But he's going to go quite a long way further than that, I think.
Yeah, no, he's been solid. He's definitely in my fantasy team now as well. So, God, the Bournemouth are such a great story this year as well, aren't they? It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you got to love it when teams are run correctly and replace the manager at just the right time with someone who's really good.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that, Chris.
Well, that's a shame.
Looking at third place, we've got Alex, a reasonable 69 on the week, and then Betts slides down to 4th. I think Betts may have been first when we last did a pod. He's still in the mix though, because 1134 is only 14 points off. Ben had a 61 this week. There is then a bit of a gap to the top 5 with Tim. He's got 1,089. He had a 66-point week, so a pretty strong week as well, but there's a bit of a gap there. And then again, there's a bit of a middle pack, because from Tim down to, I don't know, let's say 9th with Alex on 1,052. There's a bit of a group there, and then again we sort of have another natural group beneath that, where it's from 10th place with Flip 1,034 all the way down to 17th really with Cal 1,013. So we've got some interesting groups going on. Then we've obviously got the bottom of the table battle going on there as well. But turning to the bottom of the table, I mean, before we do that, we've got a number of teams in the 1,000 points barrier now. 17 teams have crossed that mark. Obviously there's still 7 or so to go. I think we've obviously now got Rob in the league since we last did a pod as well, who's nestled in at 13 at the moment, solidly mid-table. But two of the highest scores of the week did actually come from the bottom half of the table. We start off with Smithy. He got the third highest score of the week with 70, and Smithy is currently in 14th place. So if we take a look at Smithy's team, he's got Raya as well, 6, Gabrielle 6, Palmer as well 10. Very similar teams. Salah got 18, Captain, Cunha 12 as well, and then Isaac with 8. So obviously not much new team-wise, but has got the funkiest kit in the Fantasy League, I think it's fair to say.
That's fair to say. That is fair to say. You can't go wrong for that. Even got a sponsor as well, which, you got to ask yourself, how'd you do that? Yeah. In amongst it all, though, fair enough. I can't knock this team. Again, we've seen much of the same composition as others, but still there with Odegaard, who might be all right in real life, but as a fantasy player, I'm not sure about that. Same with Enzo Fernandez, not sure about that either. But there is a wild James Tarkowski at the back.
A very wild James Tarkowski.
Haven't seen one so far, but, Everton are on the up. At least they might get a clean sheet every now and again.
Yep, true. Yep, very true. And then Cal provides the second highest score of the week with 73, which brings him into the 1,000 points mark like it does for Smithy. So if we take a look at Cal's team, again, Raya 6, you're in Timber 9, Gabrielle 6, Anthony Gordon 10, Palmer 10 again, Salah captain 18, and then Isaac as well with the 8. So again, a few similar names, but yeah, another good outing for Cal.
Good, another good outing for Cal. Even though he's out and about now doing his things, so we may see him again at some time when he's not on the high seas. But yes, the one thing I do want to highlight here is that he has gone for the Premier League's best left back, which is of course Anthony Robinson.
Yes, and
yes, might have scored 1 point in there, but again, criminally underrated player. Not like Dominic Solanke, however, who is possibly one of the more overrated players. £65 million buys you no goals, as it seems.
Yeah. Replacing Kane is a little harder than they probably. Well, it's exactly as hard as everyone knew it would be, but probably harder than they thought it would be. So, and then we turn to the bottom. Like I say, it's really it's a bit fractured at the bottom. So Harry is in last place at the moment with 743, a fair distance off Aiden, who's at 798, and he is a fair distance off kind of the other three teams ahead there. Some very low scores at the bottom. We all look at Harry's. It was the lowest score in the week with 20. I can't tell, Chris, if this is a rudderless team or not, but if it is rudderless, he left it captain with Hardland, which in many, many years would do you quite well, but this year is not one of those years.
Absolutely not. No, this is far from it, and that's the reason why he's 3.1 millionth in the Sky Sports League. As well as being obviously 24th in the Waypoint League. Not a good outing here. Top to bottom, not a good. Not a great team there. Especially with that midfield who doesn't score many points, I would suggest. But yeah, this at one point in the season was probably reasonably solid, but certainly has taken a shift in the last couple of months.
Yeah, and
yeah, not something that you would want to do. So I think it's probably time for your wild card there.
Yeah, very much so. So that is it. Yeah, the return of the Waypoint FPL update. Hopefully we'll be a bit more regular than we obviously have been of late. And obviously I hope you have a happy and safe New Year's as well. As always, Chris, I'll give you the final word.
Happy and safe is the main thing. Absolutely right. So our next game is against Hope. It's at home on the 11th of January. So we still have a couple of weeks off. We can only do better in the second half of the season. So yeah, let's be aiming to do that. But until then, enjoy New Year. Enjoy the week off. Come back recovered. I'll put the first training session back on the chat in the coming days, and we hope to see you there. But till then, yes, Happy New Year, and see you in January for yet more fun and hopefully some more wins and better results for the second half of the year.